Hour late to every meeting this week.
For weeks, okay?
I thought it was 10.
No, or 9. Okay, I'm sorry, you guys. Y'all know how I always play with the camera. But,
we're eating, as you can see. We are having a kind of a mukbang. This is a fusion episode.
Yes.
So this is going to be a mukbang slash Marvel TV review show.
Yes. Hello, everybody.
Hey, everybody. How's it going today?
If you don't already know, my name is Cathy.
My name's Tom.
And we are the Marvelous Donohues.
We are. And Marvel heads, welcome.
Welcome, indeed.
Oh, spring welcome.
Spring welcome is right. And if you ain't set them clocks back by now.
You're supposed to spring forward.
I know. Or forward? Oh.
I think it's spring forward.
Okay. Well, if you ain't sprung them clocks forward by now, you wrong.
Then you've been an hour late to every meeting this week.
For weeks, okay?
I thought it was 10.
No, or 9. Okay, I'm sorry, you guys. Y'all know how I always play with the camera. But,
we're eating, as you can see. We are having a kind of a mukbang. This is a fusion episode.
Yes.
So this is going to be a mukbang slash Marvel TV review show.
Yes. Let's scoot it back some.
And for those of you who have said, Marvelous Donohues, where are those Mandalorian reviews at? And the answer to you is we're waiting for you all to watch the episodes.
Yeah. I don't know about all that, but yes, we were. Because,
in between gulps of food, of course.
Yes. Okay, sorry. I'm just trying to move it back enough where I don't seem too cloudy. I'm not trying to mess this up, but I'm trying to make sure that I'm not on the fringes, because for some reason it seemed like you're in focus and I'm not. But maybe it's just my glasses. Oh, it is just my glasses. They're like dirty.
Oh my goodness, this is really good. This is
My glasses.
Bulgogi,
You know what?
everybody.
I'm gonna take my glasses off because
This is Bulgogi. We have a little bodega across the
Yeah.
street, and this lady, I won't tell you her name because you may know her, but because she wants her anonymity.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's great. It's really wonderful. Got a little fried egg on top, and we're gonna have tofu and meat and rice and corn, carrots, and some green. It's like looks like kind of like spinach or something.
I think it is spinach or
Bok choy.
bok choy.
Bok choy, yeah.
I got a little spice with mine because I like the spice there.
I'm a not spicy person, so that's why we get along. She's spice. I'm just nice. She's nice too. But anyway, we're going to talk about me. Excuse me.
Don't even talk. You know, you gotta chew it first and then talk. So while he's chewing, I will say what we're gonna talk about.
All right.
If you're new here, this is a combination channel. So combination means that we talk about two things on this channel. One is we're talking about Tom's retirement and what we're going to do, how we're going to try to immigrate to another country or to Tom's home country, which is Ireland. So we're thinking about doing that, and we're just going to talk about the ins and outs of that. But today, you're not going to get the Marvelous Donohue Life retirement. You're getting the Marvelous Donohue Life Marvel review show. So, Mandalorian has started, and we're enjoying it so far. But we did watch episode 3, and I don't know, that just left a little bit to be desired for me. I wasn't feeling it. I'm sorry. Cathy from the future. I was watching CNN today, and I saw this about Mando experiencing an identity crisis. And they're right, I'm telling you. So I'm reading this article by, I'm sorry you guys, let me get the guy's name, Brian Lowry, right? And the other day we were talking about this, and I'm like, I agree. He talks about 1 and 2, and then 3, how it is losing its way. And then it says, as for the third episode, the executive producers, Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, indulge in a major detour, one steeped in all sorts of Star Wars related minutia, but that pushes the show further off course its initial trajectory. And it's that plot. And then I talked about it. I was like, I didn't like it. It's falling flat. You know, just like the Andor vibe. You know, I didn't like it. So, thank you, what is that? Brian Laurie, for saying that exactly what I was feeling. It's experiencing an identity crisis. I don't like it. Just a little food for thought. Thank you. But let's start with one.
Let's start with number one.
Yeah.
So I'm going to kind of talk about kind of like what I like, but maybe I didn't like.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, to be very honest, there wasn't really much I didn't like.
Mm-hmm.
I love Grogu.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you are any kind of devotee of Star Wars, you like Baby Grogu.
Mm-hmm.
And so, of course, Mando's back.
Yes.
A couple of the other ones, I'm going to look at my notes, so if I appear rude, I'm not ignoring you. I'm looking at my notes.
Mm-hmm.
Carl Weathers is back in this episode as Grief Karga.
Mm-hmm.
And Bo-Katan Kryze, played by Katie Sackhoff, she's in this episode too.
Mm-hmm.
So I love the action.
Mm-hmm. As usual.
I love the action, and it starts off with action. It starts off with
Pellegrini, not sponsored.
It starts off with Mando and Baby Grogu saving the day again.
Yes.
And coming in, it starts off with the armorer. Remember the lady who said, "Hey, you took your helmet off?
Oh, yes,
right. You ain't no Mandalorian of mine."
Yeah. So she's still ribbing him about not being a Mandalorian. So she gives him a task. So she says, "Hey, you're gonna have to go bathe in the waters." Well, he comes and saves them first of all. Saves them from some kind of giant monster that was trying to eat a little boy that was trying to be baptized to be a Mandalorian in the water, right?
Exactly.
So after he saves their butt, and ungrateful as they are, she's like, well, you know what? We'll let you become a Mandalorian again if you go back to our old haunts, our planet, and bathe in the sacred waters of Mandalore. Mm-hmm. So he says, okay, I'm gonna do it.
Right.
And he's like, so how do I do it? Oh, you can't do it. It's cursed, and the air and everything is bad. You can't do it,
and
right?
I think they said there wasn't any water left, right? Something like that, right? So this was a no-win proposition.
Right. But he took it on anyway.
Of course, because he's Mando.
Right.
And so the Grogu's back, Grief Karga, so they take off.
Right.
And they're heading over to, they go to Navarro, which is another planet, and they meet up with Grief Karga, who of course is Carl Weathers. And you know what, I kind of looked at a theme for this episode, and I think it's just determination. You know, against all odds, against indomitable forces.
Right.
Mando's like, listen, I'm going to go get me some bath at Mandalore.
Right.
And even despite, Grief Karga going, what are you doing, dude?
Right. He was like, you got your baby. That was so funny.
Baby, huh?
He's like, you got your baby, and it was just so crazy. I guess we never talked about Mando before. So if you don't know and you haven't watched any of this, Mandalorian, spoiler alert from last season, we'll add it in down here somewhere, that he became attached. I'm gonna just quickly give you a little synopsis of last season 1.
Season 2.
No, I'm giving a synopsis of season 1.
Okay.
He became, Mando, if you don't know, he hunts people down for money. He was given a special task by the former Empire to hunt down this guy, about 50 years old, and here's his DNA or whatever, go get him. So when he gets there, and goes to get the guy, he realizes that the guy is actually a baby, and that in Grogu's life, even at 50 years old, he's still a baby, right? So I don't know. It's something about. It was kind of like an E.T. moment where baby Grogu reaches out his hand to Mando and he touches it and he's enamored. You know, and this is what I tell Tom, and this is what I believe, sort of. Just like who is the baby Grogu looks like?
Yoda?
Just like Yoda, I believe that, you know, kind of Yoda, he kind of Yoda'd him and enchanted him, you know.
In fact, I think he enchants pretty much everybody. In fact, we'll talk about that a little bit more later when we get into episode 2. But that's what he does. He kind of enchants us, like, oh, where's the kid? Where's the baby?
Through the whole season 1, he's trying to return to the baby, to his people. That becomes his mission. Because he called himself a foundling. His parents were killed, and he was by himself. So they show some flashbacks during season 1 of what actually happened to baby Grogu and how he ended up by himself. And at the end, he gives baby Grogu back to, actually Luke's, I won't tell you about that because that's too much. But anyway, he then ends up, baby Grogu makes a choice and he wants to be with him. He's like, hey, I want to be with him. So now skip forward to this season where, you know, he's a single dad trying to get back in good graces with his tribe.
Right.
And because he was like, I did everything for this baby and he came back for me and everybody's happy for him. It's like, oh, where's your baby? You know, you got your baby.
That's right.
So he's a single
And
dad.
other episodes are like, what? Your baby's been kidnapped. Let's go. And they're like strangers to this man. They're like, we don't know why we want to go and trek across the galaxy to rescue this little cherub.
Right.
Excuse me, cherub.
Because they've only met him once through the.
Exactly.
So anybody that meets him is enamored by him.
So anyway, with this story, like I said, I keep looking down at my notes. Sorry about that. But anyway, Carl Weathers, Grief Karga's like, dude, why don't you just retire, bro? Take your mask off, take your helmet off, and take your kid, and just live over here in this plush part of town. And you know, I thought, listen, I don't know about you all. I'm just going to say something I really believe. I think Carl Weathers is terminally youthful.
Yeah, he did look
because he looks like he could be Apollo Creed pretty much all over again.
He looked really young.
He does. So anyway, but you know, what does Mando say? No.
He got to, he's got to turn back into a Mandalorian. That's what he does. So
yeah. Then he goes somewhere else. He's going to Kamala or Kalama. Kamala. I'll just say Kamala. It's a different pronunciation. I'll get it down to the bottom here. But he goes back and sees his old friend who actually helped save his bacon, little Bo-Katan Kryze, played by Katie Sackhoff. And she's like the head of the kind of defunct Mandalorian nation. Because
she was actually a princess.
Yeah.
Her dad used to be in charge.
Yeah. And she's sitting in this big old, they fly in, and she and I are talking about, like, who the heck's in that castle? You know, and then she's sitting there and she's all mopey, right? Because she has nobody to lead, I guess, really.
Because if you go back and watch season 1, you'll find out why. You know, she lost a very important sword, and now Mando has it. But
Black saber.
Yeah, the black saber. But he doesn't know how to use it, and he knows it. But we'll stream into episode 2 a little bit because we don't want to make this too long.
Right. So
yeah.
So anyway, the end of season 1, the end of episode 1 is like, Mando, leave me alone. Well, I'm heading over to Mandalore. I'll see you, because she says a couple things. She says, look, it's all defunct.
And it's cursed,
it's destroyed. Yeah. It's cursed. There's probably no water there, dude. You're wasting your time.
Yeah.
And he's like, gotta go.
Right.
So exit episode 1, and episode 2. They're flying to Mandalore. And I learned something new in this episode. I don't know if you picked up on it, but he was talking to Baby Grogu as they're jetting.
Oh, yeah.
And he says, you know what? I'm not from Mandalore. And then Grogu's like, kind of like, he's looking at him. He says, I come from that other planet, Concordia.
Yeah.
He comes from Concordia. Because as you remember, he is not a pure, we'll call it pure Mandalorian. So they're heading over there. And sure enough, in the sky, on the ground, this guy cannot buy a break. They're fighting sea, air, whatever you want to call it. And they get to Mandalore, and some myths are just, I guess, revealed or some dispelled, whatever. They're like, hey, it's inhabitable.
Right.
I'm going to land. We get out. We're going to walk around. And what happens? He gets captured by some big old crazy
robot
cyborg kind of thing. Right. And of course, he goes before he gets there. He meets Amy Sedaris, who's Peli Moto. Remember the little curly-haired lady?
Oh yeah.
And
that was before.
Yeah, it's before. He gets some parts from her before he heads over.
Because he wants another robot like his old robot.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you know what? Let me tell you what he's looking for. He's looking for two things. He's looking for a babysitter.
I didn't think about that. You know what? You have a very good point.
Because the other robot was like, hey, I'm going to guard this little baby with my life. Because remember the guy, the older man, had retooled him. He was a killer bot, and he turned him into a babysitter. He was like, you need somebody to help you take care of your baby. So he was trying to do that again, but the bot went crazy.
Right.
And converted back to his old killer ways. So he was like, so of course the ladies, the curly-haired lady, convinced him to take this other robot, which was terrible. She is so bad.
She was bad.
And they get there, and the robot is scared to go out and look and do his job. So Mando has to go out, and then he's taken. And Baby Grogu was with him. And he's like, oh, you could come out, So they go down there exploring. And he gets bopped on the head by some crazy robot.
Well, here's another myth dispelled. The other myth dispelled is there are creatures that are still alive on Mandalore.
Right, exactly.
Because they thought it was all a defunct planet, like nobody was there, right? So
it was some people there. And he was able to, tell Baby Grogu to get away and go get help from the girl. And Grogu's like, hey, I know how to fly. Because remember, if you go back and watch Boba Fett, that's how he makes it to him. Because he flies to him. And he's like, I'm out of here.
May the force be with you.
I know.
It is, of course.
Well, because you have to think, he's a baby, but he's also 50. It's like,
okay. A card this guy,
I know.
What I'm saying. But anyway, so he flies back to Bo-Katan and says, look, hey, hi. Or she's like, hey, get out of here. I told you where is he?
Yeah, where's your dad?
And we go back to what we talked about a minute ago, or a few minutes ago, about the enchantment that he didn't even have, he doesn't really talk. In these couple episodes, it's like we think he said some of his first words, you know?
Yeah.
They were a little intelligible. But
right.
Anyway, but it's just the aura, the ambiance, the magnetism that Grogu has over people. She's like, all right, let's go.
Let's go get him.
So they head back to Mandalore. Hey, show me where he's at.
She saves him.
Because
she can kick butt. Because he was scared too. She knew Grogu was scared because he was looking around like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, what's going to happen to me?
Yeah, she was like, listen,
don't be an orphan.
Said, don't be scared. We finna get him. Don't worry. And I just feel like that, it's still a really good story.
I really like the tempo. I think Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, I think they do a great job.
Right.
And really, for me, it's the heart. It's the heart and the emotion of Mando And these are characters you want to know about.
Right.
I want to know about.
Right.
You know, I want to know what they're talking about and where they're from and kind of their background.
I think that for myself, it's a good story until episode 3. So we go into 1, 2, and 3. So this video gonna be a little bit longer than our others because I'm gonna tell you, I just did not like the episode 3. I know why they doing it, trying to add some dimension to the characters, but you know, that professor guy and his life. And
now remember the professor, so we'll talk about that for a second. So last season, if you remember, or was it the first season? It was where
because this is only the second season, right? Okay,
so the season,
it must have been the first season.
Yeah, so the season where Mando actually delivers baby Grogu to this one, I'll call him a French guy. He has a little kind of a je ne sais quoi accent or whatever.
Well, he was part of the Alliance, not the Alliance, but
the Empire. Mm-hmm. Right. And so he delivered him, but
the old Empire.
Yeah. And then one of his cronies, one of his henchmen, is this kind of, you know, I guess evil scientist guy, or you know, he's a guy who does what would you call it, like genetics?
Yeah, biogenetics. Yeah, he's doing biogenetics and stuff.
And he wants to look at DNA. He wants to look at baby Grogu. What does he make him tick and all that stuff? So,
well, a lot of it, he was actually trying to do some good work because he didn't want to hurt him. He just wanted some of his DNA to build something because, as usual, you know, somebody in somebody's family dies. It's the reason why most people become doctors, nurses, chiropractors, helpers. He said somebody in his family died, and he was like, I knew that my study and how I do things, I could actually help save them. So that's why he wanted Grogu's DNA. So this new thing was about him escaping the Empire and now trying.
He's with the what do you call it? Not the Empire. It's the other one. It's the
Alliance.
The Alliance. Or it's the good guys. It's
right.
The Alliance,
yeah. But he's being convinced that they're not the good guys by some soldier, and I just felt like it's just I don't know. I didn't want to see that because I want to know about what's going on with Mando. I guess I'm biased with the storyline when they start to drift off too much into a storyline that won't become relevant to us or is not that relevant.
Right.
And I think that, you know, we're all watching it for Mando and Grogu and we want to see what's going to happen to their story.
Yeah, she and I watched it the other day and I'm like, we're sitting here, right? First we see Mando and Grogu and we're like, okay. And then who's this guy? And then it's like, oh, that was that evil, I just call him evil scientist.
Right.
He was doing some stuff with that.
And I thought, well, they just going to show him for a minute.
But
and
then
it was like
elaborate story about how he actually went back to the Alliance.
How that he was in a program where they kind of try to retrain your brain and reprogram you to keep you from going back to the Alliance.
No, you mean the Empire.
Oh, the Empire. Yeah. Sorry, you guys. But that's how, you know, I just didn't find it interesting. Right. Those of you who found it interesting, let me know.
Yeah, I know it's opinion too.
And I know that everybody needs a backstory, but I just felt like
I think it took it off the plane of where I wanted to see Mandalorian go.
Yeah, and it wasn't interesting to me. And I'm a fan, but you know, guys, I tell you the truth, I don't like everything. I didn't watch Andor. We watched a few episodes of that. And then we just just let it go. Yeah. But we're gonna stick with Mandalorian because we like them and we like the storyline.
Look, we know that, you know, Dave and John, you know, they got this thing right.
Right.
I mean, the whole tempo, you know, we're not gonna like abandon it or anything.
Yeah, not yet. Look, if it go too far, you know, I ain't got no time.
Well, in episode 3, what I didn't like, and I've never seen this before, and I don't think it's a good move, is the Alliance. They're kind of painting the Alliance as kind of being a little dark.
Yeah.
Like, we're not going to tell you the whole thing, but at the end, they try to do a little, like, brain cleaning.
Right. But they wasn't, it's the person that end up turning into bad. Well, I think that they trying to paint the Alliance as, it almost felt like they were trying to turn them into Hunger Games type of people. You know how the Hunger Games live so detached from the rest of the world that everybody was just at the beginning talking to the professor and blah 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 blah, you know, blah blah blah, and they were all dressed up and made up and it was so great and exciting, you know. They seem like they were trying to say that most of the people in the alliance have no idea what's going on out in the real world, or at least in that town or that city, that make-believe city that they have no...
The alliance knows best.
Right.
And what I'm worried about is a philosophy, and the philosophy is that you become that which you hate.
Right.
And I'm worried that they're going to be painted further as being dark.
Right.
And then they're going to go over to the quote-unquote dark side.
Right. Or that they just don't care, like the people that were bubbleheads in the Hunger Games.
Right.
And that's what it seems like. Even their costumes look like that.
Yeah. So we didn't like 3 very much. I think. What did you? I think I gave it like I was generous. I gave it like a 5, but I think you gave it like something.
A 3. I didn't have time for that.
Yeah, so I didn't like that. I was waiting. I was really excited to see what was going to go on with Grogu and Mando, and after he bathed in the water, as a Mandalorian.
And it started off, I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
And it just was like, okay, why did this take so long?
Yeah. So, but let us know. Let us know what you think about. We don't tell the whole story in these review shows because we want you to see it. And want you to tell us what you think. Let us know. And but subscribe, comment, and we do. What do you like? What didn't you like? What do you hope to see in Star Wars?
In the next one.
And the next one, and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And let us know.
Yep. So, you guys, we're getting into 25 minutes, and we don't want to take y'all time like that. So, thank you for watching. My name is Kathy.
My name is Tom.
And we are the Marvelous Donohues, and we will see you next time.
Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.